Hello, bass players. Today we're going to be working on page 27 of Essential Elements Book 2. And we are working on the 6/8 meter, which we learned on the last page. But on this page, we're going to be playing it a little bit faster tempo. So when you speed up 6/8, it really feels like it's in 2 beats, not 6. And each beat would be the dotted quarter note. So on the last page, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the strong beat on beat 4. And on this page, we're going to get into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and it can actually go even faster than that. Do you feel how that kind of gets reduced into just 2 beats in a measure? And the eighth notes kind of function similarly to eighth notes in 4/4 or 2/4, except that there are 3 of them in a beat instead of having 2 of them in a beat. So it is a different rhythmic feel. Let's go ahead and get used to that by playing number 121, which is Rhythm Rap, and we're going to play this on our open D string. Good, we'll put some notes to that now with number 122, Rise and Fall. Okay, next we're going to do Beach Walk, number 123. Notice this one has some quarter notes followed by eighth notes, but they are slurred, not hooked. So you don't have the staccato marks on them. And when you don't have staccatos, you just keep the bow moving. So don't stop the bow between them. Here we go, Beach Walk. Okay, and then the last one on this page is a bit more challenging. It's called Maytime, and it's by Mozart, very well-known composer representing the classical era, which classical era of music spanned from about 1750 to 1825, and Mozart lived and composed in the first part of the classical era. Anyway, this one is challenging for the bass because it's got a lot of shifting in it, and you do have to do some shifting while you slur, which is a little bit tricky because when you shift you want to be as efficient as possible, but sometimes you're moving your finger a pretty wide distance, and so if you're slurring at the same time, it's a challenge to get to the point where you shift without really being able to hear it. So we'll talk about that. We're going to walk through the fingering on this one before we try and play it with the recording, just to make sure you understand how to do all the shifts. Now we do have some shifts on the D string for this one. That just makes the fingering more efficient. And remember, on the bass, you're not always going to wait until you run out of notes in first position to be moving into third position or even beyond. Sometimes you want to go ahead and get yourself up there just to prepare for the next note and make the fingering more efficient. So you're not having to do maybe a really big shift during a slur. So let's go ahead and go through the fingering. So we start on the open D. And now instead of playing this A here on the G string, you're going to play it up here. So right there, they put that shift there so that you can shift on the bow change rather than shifting on the slur, which would be tricky to match if you did. That's going to be harder to hide than when it's a bow change. You can give yourself a little time for that. So straight across there, and then back to the fourth finger there, and then back to first position. Again, shift to third position there. Now here you're going from fourth finger to fourth finger, and that is a hook, so go ahead and stop the bow between them. So up bow, and move to the other string and get the fingers up there. You don't have a lot of time to do that, but at least it's a hook, not a slur. And then you've got, now right there, it's during a slur that you have to do that shift. You're going from second finger And the best way to make that as clean as possible is to release the pressure on the finger. So you're not picking up the finger, but you're actually not pushing it down, not pushing the string down while you move the hand. And then when you get close to the position, go ahead and put the fourth finger down. That's going to take some practice to get it clean, but in time you will be able to shift all around the fingerboard and make those shifts so they don't sound too atrocious. Let's go ahead and start on that measure there. We are now on the third measure on the third line. Shift here, back down, and again that is a slur, not a hook. So you can kind of cheat a little bit by releasing some weight on the bow, but once you get accomplished at shifting, you should be able to even make that big shift during a slur and not have it be too swoopy. So alright, so this one's going to take some practice. This one is much more challenging for the bass than this song is for the other instruments. The other instruments don't have to do any shifting for this one. So the shifting really does add quite a bit of challenge for the bass. So don't get frustrated if it seems like the other instruments in the orchestra, they're picking it up quicker than you are. Just give yourself time and just really work on perfecting your shifting technique. And let's go ahead and try and play it with the recording. Excellent. And that does it for page 27. I hope you enjoy practicing these songs in 6/8. And on the next page, we're going to be exploring the key of D minor. So we've got some really, really lovely music coming up in the next couple of pages. So you should, I'm looking forward to having you play in minor keys. And I hope that you put some time into Maytime, and even if you don't get it perfect, that you at least work on improving your shifting skills through that song. Good luck and happy practicing.